Thousands in Turkey gathered earlier today to start the new year with a protest against Israel's war with Hamas. The crowds gathered around the Gaza Bridge, waving both Palestinian and Turkish flags. Turkey has been a harsh critic of Israel during this war and are among the countries calling for a ceasefire. Yesterday, in a New Year's message, an IDF spokesperson said Israel is preparing for prolonged fighting in 2024. Iris Mackler has more on where things stand with the war going into the new year.
There's little peace here so far. There was that barrage of rockets that came in at midnight from Hamas in the Gaza Strip up southern and central Israel all the way to Tel Aviv. There were revelries in the West Bank which turned into late-night protests in support of civilians, Palestinians in Gaza. And the Israeli military has announced that it's withdrawing 4 battalions from the north of the Gaza Strip because the fighting there, as far as they're concerned, is now over, focusing instead on the centre and the south, especially Khan Yunis, as we've been reporting here for weeks, and including reports of fighting, intense fighting in the centre of Khan Yunis this morning. The Hamas-run medical ministry says that they are reporting 22,000 people dead. They don't distinguish between civilians and fighters. Israel says it's killed more than 8,000 militants. That's the grim picture I have for you. The only piece of good news is that today we have reports that vaccines for childhood diseases like polio and measles have gone into the Gaza Strip.
Okay. And of course, as we approach this new year, or as we're now in it, what is Israel saying about how it intends to approach the war?
In a way, the fact that the military is going into phase 3 now is forcing the politicians to discuss this, this issue that they have been reluctant to discuss, prevented by the right-wing parties in the coalition from doing that. But we do have an indication that perhaps there are plans for a civilian and the party to run the Gaza Strip after, the day after, as they're calling it here, would be an international consortium, including Arab countries, that would run and fund civilian life in Gaza. And we do know also that perhaps one of the people to be moderating that would be Tony Blair, the former UK Prime Minister. He has been here visiting, meeting Israel's Prime Minister, other ministers, and the suggestion is that he would either run that or would be an envoy between the moderate Arab states and Israel. But all that we know by inference. They haven't published these details to us publicly yet.
Iris Mackler for us in Jerusalem.